What is going on, you guys? This is Tech HD coming at you with a brand new video, and today what we're going to be talking about is what I believe is the best affordable, cheap, budget type of action camera, and that is the Sj6 Legend action camera from Sjcam. And there's so many features that this has for the price point when you compare it to something like a GoPro. It's seriously really interesting, the fact that it's under 200 bucks. It's about 160 bucks, but it has a bunch of features that will benefit both me, you, and a whole bunch of other content creators if they are really into traveling, into capturing the moment, vlogging, and really getting into this. So without further ado, let's get right into the review. So quick disclaimer before we get into the actual review, I just want to let you guys know that Sjcam did provide me with the product, so thank you for that. But everything that I talk about is my honest opinion, and this is seriously, like, they did not pay me at all to do it. They just provided me with the product, but I'm just giving my honest opinion about it. I will talk about the pros, the cons, the features that they come with, what comes with it. And I have been testing this for weeks now, and I've taken this with me to Texas, to Dallas, Texas. I was vlogging and doing some action camera shots with this, and I also took this with me to Medellin, Colombia. So I will be showing you guys some montages, some time lapses of raw video files of that type of that clip. Basically, I was using this in the car, I was using this for underwater stuff, so you guys will be seeing the raw video files of this, and that's pretty much it. So let's get into the review. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about are the features that this camera provides. So the first thing is that this shoots in 4K. So that is pretty good. It's basically future proofing since it's 4K, but it's 4K up to 24 frames per second. I would have wanted it to be at least up to 30 frames per second, but 24 frames per second is good enough. That's mainly for filming and action stuff. So that's what this is mainly for, though I would like the option of 30 frames per second. Bear in mind though that there are newer versions that than this one. There's the Sj7, so that one probably does have the 4K at 30 frames per second, and as well they just announced the Sj8, so that one will probably have 4K at 60 frames per second, so that is going to be really cool. But just to let you guys know that this is 4K at 24 frames per second as well. It does 2K at 30 frames per second, so that is good. If you don't mind the 4K, go a little bit down and go to 2K at 30 frames per second, which is what I normally shoot on. And this also supports 1080p at both 30 and 60 frames per second, so that is really good, as well as 720p at 120 frames per second, so you can get nice slow motion shots with this, which is really cool. As well, it has a 60 megapixel lens, which is really good. The sensor provided is from Panasonic, which is pretty good to know. It's like a very known brand that provides the sensor of the lens, which is pretty cool. As well, it has a 170-degree pretty much viewing, and it is pretty interesting because you could also change that in the software, in the actual settings. You could do wide or narrow, however way that you want it, so that it doesn't create that fisheye distortion, which is really cool because I'm not a big fan of the fisheye distortion. And the software, the way that this captures the video, it makes sure that it's not so fisheye, which I really like, so it doesn't create that like warping type of style, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It shoots in JPEG picture style as well as MOV or MP4 in the video style, and it also uses H.264 encoding, so that is the best possible option, which is really good to know about. As well, this supports up to 128 gigabytes of micro SD, so you have plenty of space to capture any type of footage that you want. As well, what's really cool about this camera that you normally don't see on a budget type of action camera is the fact that this supports external microphone, so you're able to connect an external microphone and get better audio quality, which I don't really see on Amazon for any type of other budget type of action cameras, which is really good that this supports external microphone expansion, which is pretty cool. They even have a list of an option of a lavalier external microphone that you can hook up. They sell it on their website as well, which is really cool. Another thing that I honestly love is the fact that this also comes with accessories. So something to know about Sjcam is that they are very known for their variety of action cameras as well as accessories for it. So like I said, they have a lavalier microphone that you can connect to the action cameras that supports majority of the action cameras that they have. As well, a majority of their action cameras support a wireless remote to toggle either making videos or taking a picture or something like that. So they have a wireless remote that you can connect to a majority of their action cameras, which is really cool, which usually budget type of action cameras don't have. They just have the camera and that's pretty much it. This one has cameras, a variety of cameras, as well as accessories for that. And also this has a removable battery, and what you could do, you could charge it through the USB connector, or you could get the an accessory that they also provide, which is you could buy a battery, an extra battery, and you could buy a battery charger, so you could charge up to 2 batteries and basically be completely secure that you have full charge on all both of them. So it charges both of them simultaneously, which I really like as well, that they provide you with that. So because this battery lasts for a while, but then once it runs out, it takes up to 3 hours to charge. So that's something to know about. So that's something that I actually really like about Sjcam, is that they're very known. They're not just like, oh, they sell action cameras and then other stuffs. No, they're really known for just action cameras and accessories, which is really cool. So they have like a variety of action cameras as well as microphones, wireless remotes that will support a majority of their action cameras, as well as type of other features that we're going to get into as well. So that's something that I really like about it as well. What I really like about the Sj6 that the Sj7 doesn't have is that this has 2 screens. So it has a 2-inch touch screen as well as a little front screen to tell you how long you've been recording, how much space you have, the battery life, stuff like that. And that is something that I really like. And so if I'm looking at it from this angle, I could see how long I've been recording, as well as it has the LED light indicators to know that you are still recording, blue for recording, and as well that it is actually powered on. So that's something that I really like about as well. So one thing that I really want to talk about before we get to the cons is that most action cameras, budget action cameras, they're unknown company action cameras that I see on Amazon. Usually they say that they shoot in 4K, they shoot at 24 frames a second or 30 frames a second, and it's really good quality. Now the thing that I want to let you guys know is that even though that it says 4K, it's probably 4K at a low bitrate, which means crappier video quality, even though it says that it's in 4K. So that's something to really know about. Now this camera, in fact, is the complete opposite. Now, it's not as great as detailed as a GoPro, but bear in mind that this is 4K, but the bitrate is high. It's actually one of the highest that I've seen in action cameras, and I have used other types of action cameras. So this camera is actually really good and very usable with the video footage that I've captured in both underwater shots when I'm driving in the car, stuff like that, and in low light situations as well as outdoor use, indoor use, stuff like that. So the bitrate on this camera is actually really good. So when you're searching on Amazon the 4K action camera and you see that they're lower in price or that they're around the same price, ask them what the bitrate is. Is it high or is it low? Because that will basically, that's the main difference. Even though it says 4K, if it's at a low bitrate, you're gonna see crappier 4K footage, and the video footage is not gonna be usable. I wouldn't use it. This I would, because the video footage is actually very usable in raw video shot, like no color corrections, no type of editing used. It looks actually really good. So that's something that I really like about this camera. I've tested other type of budget cameras, and they're even though it says like 4K or 2K or even 1080p, the bitrate is a lot lower, and that's what I really don't like about is the fact that the bitrate is a lot lower, and most of the companies don't even put it in the description and let you guys know what the bitrate is. So that's something that I really don't like, but this one I can honestly vouch for that this is a good high bitrate for the camera, which I really like. Now let's get into the cons very quickly, because there's really not that many cons and it's very quick to talk about. So there's only 2 cons that I could think of as of right now, because through my experience has been very smoothly. There's been really no issues. The only thing that I could really think of are 2 cons, and the one thing is that when I try to delete a file, I go to the settings, I delete it, and then I say delete current, I hit OK, and then good. When I go back, I see that it's not deleted for some reason. So I either try multiple times and see if it actually works, maybe 2 or 3 times. If that doesn't work, I usually turn it off and then turn it back on and then delete it, and then usually it deletes. That's one of the cons that I find a little bit annoying here and there, but nothing very crazy. I feel like that could be fixed through software or through an update. Maybe there is an update that I haven't seen yet, that maybe I didn't update this or anything like that. The second con that I could really think of is, for some reason, whenever I'm switching from the field of view, I told you that I could go into the settings and go and change the field of view to wide, normal, narrow, stuff like that. Whenever I change it, for some reason it doesn't change on the first time. I have to do it like twice to make sure that it is set to either narrow or wide or whatever, and that's again like a little bit annoying here and there, but it's really not that big of an issue. I've seen other cameras that are a lot worse, but those are the main two that I think could be a con for you guys, could be rather annoying for you guys, but to me it's not a big deal. I really have no idea. I don't mind it at all, so it's really nothing big. Also, I have one more con that I forgot to mention, and that is the waterproof case. Now, the waterproof case is great. The only thing that I have an issue with is the buttons. So whenever I have this on, the buttons, I don't really know if I'm actually pressing it or not, if I actually pressed it, unless I'm actually looking at it. So when I like press it, it feels kind of mushy. There's no like type of clicking or anything like that that really tells me that I actually pressed on it. So I have to really look and make sure. And when I'm in the water or anything like that, you know, that could be a little bit difficult when there's a lot of sun and there's a bit of glare from the case or from the display. I can't really see if I actually pressed it or not, or if I'm actually doing something. And that's the thing, like the buttons are kind of mushy. I wish there was some type of clicking thing that could have been fixed on the Sj7 or maybe on the upcoming Sj8, but right now for the Sj6, the buttons are kind of mushy and I don't really like that. Alright, so before we get into what actually comes with the action camera and showing you guys the actual software, the settings, the features, stuff like that, I want to let you guys know couple other things that I really like about this. Number one is that this has WDR, which is wide dynamic range, which is basically a setting that makes sure that it's not overexposed, the video footage or the picture is not overexposed, and that the colors are nice and stored and not like drawn out by light or anything like that. So it's like making sure that the contrast is good, that the exposure is good, it's not too overexposed or too over contrast, and making sure that the colors are nice and accurate. The second thing that I really like is that you could connect to a computer and you could use it as a USB camera, which is really dope. So you could use this if you're streaming or if you're making videos. You could just connect this to the PC through USB, use it as a USB camera, open up OBS Studio and use this as just a regular camera. And since it has a high bit rate, a pretty good bit rate, the video quality is gonna look pretty good. So that's what I really love about this. As well, this also has gyro stabilization. So I see the other action cameras that I used that are pretty budget that has gyro stabilization. When I look back into the footage, it looks pretty wobbly. It doesn't look good and it doesn't seem like that the stabilization actually did its work. When I was using this in the car, when I was using this in the water, and when I was using this for any type of movement, the stabilization is actually really good, pretty spot on to be honest, and that you could change the settings. So you could change how crazy you want the stabilization to be. You want it to be low, medium, or high. I usually just set this on high. I don't really care. I want that stabilization to be there all the time, and especially when I'm gunning with this, when I'm in the car and I'm hitting a whole bunch of bumps. As well, this also comes with an app, so you could get an app through the iPhone or through the Android where you could see what this is capturing from your phone. As well, you could change the settings and you could tell it to start recording, start taking a picture, stuff like that. You could change everything you want from your phone, which is really dope, which I honestly love. And this also has multi-purpose, so it could be used as a car camera, it could be used on a bicycle, stuff like that. It could be used for pictures, and it even has a drone setting. So you could use this as a drone camera, which is really cool, and then you can use the app on your phone to see what this is capturing. So I really like that feature. These are features that you do not see on regular budget cameras. You usually see them on high-end cameras. Okay, so now what we're going to be talking about is everything that comes in the box, everything that comes with the Sjcam Legend, and let's just get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the camera itself. So it comes with obviously the camera. You can see that it has a recording button, an on button, an on and off button, a light indicator, another light indicators, as well as a settings, and we're going to get more into that as well. We also have a screw, so if you could connect this, you could connect this to a tripod or anything like that, as well as we have the removable battery, which is really cool, and as well as a mini or micro HDMI, as well as a mini USB, non-micro USB port, as well as the micro SD card. And this is the speaker, and this is the microphone over here. We're gonna take a little bit closer look to it, but basically that is the camera, as well as we have the waterproof case. So this case is honestly really good. I like the way that you open this. You pull this and then lift up, and then that's how it opens. This is waterproof to up to 100 feet, which is really good in my opinion. 100 feet is enough, is perfect for what I'm going to be using this for. And it has the buttons as well to work with the on, the setting, and the recording buttons. And as well, it also comes with a little second piece. So this part is not touchscreen, so if you want to continue using the touchscreen feature, you could just remove it and then clip on the touchscreen part and still use the waterproof case. And this is waterproof with this piece on. It's waterproof to I think about 20 meters or maybe 10 meters, which I have no idea how many feet that is, but you can still use the touchscreen feature, which I really like that they provide that. As well, there's also another mount for any type of other type of use, for not obviously not waterproof use, but there's also cutouts for to connect an external microphone, to press the actual button, stuff like that. Very simple. And there's also the USB to mini USB cable, which is really good, so you can connect this to charge the battery, and as well connect this to a PC, so you can use this as an external camera, which is pretty crazy. So now jumping into all the mounts is very simple. There are multiple mounts that are pretty much the same, and then it comes with 3M adhesive, so it's really sticky tape, and these are all pretty much the same. This one, I don't know what's the difference between this one and this one. I guess this one's higher elevation or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure. So it comes with 4 of them, which is perfect for if you want hook this up to a helmet or anything like that. As well, we have the other piece, so you could connect this to any of the adapters over here, and this one is really interesting. This one could be used for a pole or to hook this onto a bike, stuff like that. And we also have other little adapters, so you could connect this to it, so it could be straight or in a different type of angle. So, and I believe the difference between this is for higher elevation or something like that, because it does the same thing pretty much. So that's what that one is. This one is a different type of mount. This one could be used for, I guess, to clip onto those as well. And then this one is the same thing as all the other ones, and that is pretty much it. And it also comes with 2 extra adhesive tape, so if for any reason, and this one is to connect this to as well to like a tripod or something else. And then we got the user manual with all the specs, and as well as Sjcam stickers. So that is pretty much it that comes in the box. And now let's get more in depth with the actual camera. So now the next thing that we're going to be taking a look at is the actual camera itself, and we're going to be taking a look at the settings and all of that it provides you. So if we look at it, you can see the front display, the lens, the LED indicators, we can see the on and off button, the settings, another indicator light, as well as the record button and another indicator light, and we also have the 2-inch touchscreen display, and then we have a micro HDMI port as well as a mini USB port, not a micro USB, so bear in mind of that. As well as we have the SD card input, and we also have a speaker and as well the microphone. So definitely recommend getting an external microphone, because look at that thing is tiny, so it's not going to be the best quality. And we also have a little port for if you want to connect this to a tripod, and as well as we have the battery right here as well. So it's removable, so if we just turn this on, we hold this for like about 3 seconds, and it should be powering on. You heard that little thing, and then you can see we have the actual camera itself, and then you can see over here we got what the quality is, so 4K at 24 frames a second. You can see how long it's been recording, the storage, the battery life, and stuff like that. So that is really cool. So now if we get in a little bit closer in here, we can see if we press the bottom right, we could get into the settings, the first thing that we see is the resolution. So 4K 24 frames per second, 2K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60, 1080p at 50, 1080p at 30, so on and so on, and 720p at 120 frames. So now if we go back, we can see the loop recording. You can see how long you want to do the loop for 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You can see the field of view that I was talking about. So wide, middle, narrow. I usually keep it narrow. So narrow. Low light mode, I usually keep that on. The WDR, which is the wide dynamic range for color, accuracy, making sure that nothing's too overexposed, stuff like that, I'd like to keep that on. The gyro sensor, so that's the gyro image stabilization, and I usually keep that as high. And then audio, yes. Volume, keep it max. The timestamp, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I keep that off. And then the file format is the best, so MP4. There's also MOV, but I keep it to MP4. And the bitrate, you can even put the bitrate for high, medium, or low. Of course, I'm going to do high because I want the best quality possible. Double file, I'm not 100% sure what that is either, so I think maybe a backup file, I'm not 100% sure. The sharpness, I usually keep that as strong, and the white balance, I keep that as automatic, but there's also daylight, cloudy, tungsten, fluorescent, stuff like that. We also have the color, which is normal, black and white, retro, warm, cool, but I keep it normal. And then the EV, I forgot what the acronym for that is, but I usually keep it to 0, or you could also mess around with it and put it really high up there, but I keep it at 0. The metering, I keep it on average, but we also got center and spot, but I keep it on average. So if we exit that out, and if we go to the other settings, you can see there's language, so English, Spanish, French, all of that. We got the date and the time, so date, format, time, so on and so on. We can format the SD card, which I'm not going to, and then we got the FPV, which is the, I forgot what that is, the field person view, the first person view. I'm not 100% sure, but I keep that off. There's TV mode, there's fast record, so right away when you turn it on, it starts recording, or when you leave something, it starts recording. Quick capture as well, I keep that off. The front display, I keep it on, so I know how long I've been recording. The auto power off, I put for 3 minutes. There's also 5 minutes and 10 minutes, but I put that to 3 minutes. The keypad tone, I make it a tone so I know that I actually started recording, so it makes a little tone. The light set, I keep it to 6. Screensaver, a minute, so that, you know, I can conserve power. The frequency, I keep it to 60 Hertz. I think that's where everybody should keep it as. Rotate is for if you have this upside down for any reason. Logo, watermark, I keep that off. I don't want any type of watermark. The Wi-Fi, so you can change the password and the name if you want to be a little bit more secure. The power on mode, I keep it on video because that's like the only thing I really do. So right when I turn it on, it's automatically on video. The default setting, I have that cancel, obviously it converts everything back to the regular default. And then the version, the Sjcam Sj6 Legend. So now looking at the main screen, you can see that there's a lot shown. There's the battery indication, the image stabilization, how much is being recorded, if there's WDR, and if there's mic enabled, the video, which is 4K 24 frames per second, and it's a wide field of view. And then there's the settings, and then there's the playback, so you can see all the footage that was saved, stuff like that, and then you could play it and then hear how the audio was, how the video footage was. And if we swipe down, you can see that there's the Wi-Fi enable. So if we turn that on, you can see that the Wi-Fi is being on. You can see the SSD and then the password, stuff like that. And then we're gonna hit X, and then if we swipe down again, you can see that there's the remote controller. So then remote control pairing, I'm gonna hit no. And then there's the drone as well, so then we could set it as a drone, which is really cool. I'm gonna turn that off, and then if we swipe down, we could have it to lock, so then nobody could get access to it unless you just actually swipe and hold it, and then it'll unlock. And then if we swipe down, or if we actually press the video footage, stuff like that, you can see that there's other types of settings. There's video lapse, slow recording, still, photo lapse, burst mode, video plus photo. There's a car mode, there's an underwater mode, which is really cool. And then if we slide this to the left or to the right, you can see it'll switch from video to still motion, and then 6 megapixel. It's a raw JPEG file, which is really cool. So that's pretty much all the features that we have. So now what I'm going to be showing you guys is footage that I recorded in both Medellin, Colombia, any type of time-lapse, stuff like that, and then it's the raw video files of it. So when I was using it in the car, when I was using it in the water and stuff like that. And just to let you guys know, when I was using it in the car, I had it hooked up to this bad boy. This is the Joby suction cup, and then I just have this hooked up to the window, and then I could have it any type of position that I want to. Just to let you guys know, that's how I got those nice still shots. And so now let's take a look at the file and let's see how it is. So there you guys have it. This has been my review on the Sjcam Sj6 Legend action camera. This is honestly the best type of budget, affordable action camera in the market on Amazon. This is pretty much outside of GoPro. This is a close second. When you look at action cameras on Amazon or something like that, they aren't that really good. The bitrate is lower, the image stabilization is pretty bad. This one is honestly really good. It's a close second compared to GoPro, and it's pretty affordable. It's actually under 150 bucks. So what I said before, under 200 bucks, it's actually under 150 bucks. It's 135 bucks, which is pretty crazy and pretty affordable. And not only that, but it works with other type of accessories. It works with external microphones. You could connect an external microphone to this, which is really cool. You could connect this to a desktop and make this as a USB camera for streaming or anything like that as well. You could even do this for multi-purpose use. Connect this to a drone for a car. Connect this with your phone as an app, so you could control and see everything that this is seeing, which is honestly amazing. And I also love how there's a variety of other type of cameras that they have. Sjcam is mainly just known for action cameras, not just action cameras and other type of products. No, they're just mainly known for action cameras and accessories. You can connect a wireless remote to this, an external microphone, connect this to your computer, stuff like that. And if you're not interested in this, you could be interested in the other cameras that they provide, which is really good. And not only that, but they also announced that they are going to be coming out with a gimbal for action cameras for the Sj8, as well as other action cameras like the Sj6, which is really dope. So you could get that nice buttery smooth video and it will just look honestly amazing. So this is really good for the price. It comes with multiple features, accessories, stuff like that. You guys saw the video footage. It was really good in my opinion. So bear in mind, this is my honest review on this, and this is all my opinion. So I would love to know what you guys think about the footage, what you guys think about the features, what you guys think about the cons, stuff that you wouldn't like, or stuff that you honestly love that this has, or stuff that you would love for this camera to have. Maybe look into the Sj7 or the Sj8, and also maybe look into the gimbal as well as the other accessories. So let me know down in the comments below on what you guys think about this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. As always, it's Take It G. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.